Hey everybody, Zach here at etrailer.com. Today we're taking a look at our CURT Roof Basket on our 2019 Chevrolet Trax. This basket is going to be a good way to utilize your roof space, be able to carry some cargo or some gear to free up some of that space on the inside. The Trax isn't a very big vehicle, you already know that, and this is going to do a good job to give you a little bit more space, whether it's your friends or family, or if you just want to carry extra gear for a trip. Now when it comes to how much stuff you can put up here, it's going to be a weight capacity of 150 pounds. Now, I have it on a CURT raised rail roof rack system. It is also 150 pound weight capacity, but you always want to check with the owner's manual of the vehicle, or if you have a different roof rack system on here, and go with whichever of those numbers is the lowest. You don't want to overdo it by any means, so I like that these two match up. It makes it a little bit easier whenever it comes time to check in the owner's manual. 150 pounds is a significant amount of weight in my opinion, but it's still going to be a good option to get some suitcases, maybe a cooler up there, some of those larger, bulkier items. Now when it comes to what type of stuff you can fit up here, you can see I got a decent sized cooler up here to give you a little perspective. Now the site lists it at 41.5 by 37 inches, and that's true if we're going from the bottom, but for me, actual usable space is going to be this top point, and that's going to be 37 by 37. Yeah, so 37 inches by 37 inches side to side here. That 41.5 is going to come from this bottom. So here, this fairing, if you take that out of the equation, which you could take that off if you had longer items, but that's where that 41.5 comes in. Something I do like is that we're getting from the bottom there, I'm measuring it at 5 inches from the base to the top there. So that's giving us some good depth there. That kind of changes a little bit depending on where it sits on these bars. But all around we're getting nice tie down points to use some good straps. I really like the etrailer straps that we have. Those are going to be a really nice option for you. So we're getting good spots to tie down, plenty of space to fit some bags up there. The fairing, I briefly mentioned, that's going to do a good job of kind of getting wind up over our items. We think that these are going to do a really nice job of cutting down on that wind noise. You're putting something on your roof, it's definitely going to be noisy, but this helps kind of shift some of that wind up and not getting caught with all of your gear back there. Now when it comes to how much height it's adding to our vehicle, I'm going to go off of the crossbars we're using today. It is adding 7 inches to the top of our crossbar. So still fairly low profile, but still gives us a really nice sized basket. When it comes to the finish, it's got a nice kind of textured powder coat to it. A lot of the glossy finish ones that I've handled, with the amount of moving around and testing we do, I feel like those get scratched up fairly easy. And this one's been out in the shop quite a bit. There's some little nicks here and there where it's scraped up against some white paint, but it does a good job of holding up. It's set outside for a while. The hardware is a little rusty, but overall the basket is still in really good shape. How it's held onto our crossbars is with this U-bolt clamp style design. So we're getting a little platform here to kind of make it even and attach it to the crossbar. And then this rubberized U-bolt attaches to this metal bracket on top. So it squeezes it and clamps itself to the crossbar. I like the rubberized U-bolt a lot. When it comes to installing, sometimes you're going to make contact with your roof. It's just going to happen. You're putting metal objects up there, and this helps cut down with the risk of damage. Installation's pretty straightforward. Most roof baskets install very similar to this, so let's just walk you through how we got this one put in place. I have 3 of my 4 mounting locations already fastened down, so I'm going to take this piece right here. This is going to sit on top of our crossbars, and those slots in the roof basket are going to slide right into that. So I'm going to get this fed in there, get that put in place, and then I'm going to take my U-bolt, and I've got it started already, and get this fed up over there. And it's going to sit, the metal piece will sit right on top of our basket, and then our U-bolt will come from underneath. And you can see how it lines right up in that groove. We'll get it fed up through the metal bracket, and then I'm going to take my second knob and start tightening that down. And then we can just go back and forth and get this tightened evenly. Now, one thing I found with this style design is the bolts over here are sticking up pretty high. So I have this on a fairly thin CURT roof rack. If you're using another brand with a little bit larger bar, something from Rhino-Rack or Yakima, this bolt won't stick up as high. If I put a soft-sided bag up here, it potentially could catch on that and it would tear. So if you're using a thin crossbar like this, I would consider cutting those off. That's one downside to this style. It is going to be a really nice tight fit once we get this tightened down all the way, but I've got to tighten it down all the way. So it's going to take a little bit of time to do that, and then we're going to have that extra bolt sitting up top. So if you're using the CURT one or a thinner bar like a round or square bar, you're probably going to run into this as well. So we're just going to go back and forth and tighten this down. It takes some time, but we'll get there. All right, so you can see there, I've got quite a bit of thread sticking up on both sides, so definitely going to cause issues down the road. So if I was going to leave this on here permanently, I'm for sure cutting those off. There are definitely other options out there, but in this kind of economical one, I think this is still going to be a really solid basket for you. It's going to give us a nice tight fit. So you can see I'm shaking the whole vehicle there. It's going to be a really good basket for you. Going to be able to give you a lot more space for your Trax to be able to get a lot of cargo up there and free up some space in the vehicle for you. But that's going to do it for our look at the cargo basket from CURT on our 2019 Chevrolet Trax.